Okay, here we go. We're working on this corner right here of our small layout. Basically, long story short, with this small layout and playing it safe as a beginner, we went with some 4% grade risers. So if you can imagine, there's the top of the riser. We have two sections basically of 4% grade. To make sure, because we have two rivers. We have the Minnesota River coming in to the Mississippi River going here. So we have many places where bridges are coming across. So with that 4% coming down here and ending right about here, it was challenging getting locomotives, single locomotives, to crawl up this hill with more than five cars or so. So we decided to, best we can anyway, try to level it out and go sub 4% and get us all the way to this point. Actually, technically, it would bring it all the way out across to the bridge, so right in this point. So we wanted to get it down. Here's where we're at. I had all the track all set up. That Atlas locomotive right there. We tested it out, took off the track in this area, put these guys underneath, and then glued them down. Good old wood glue to glue these together. Good old Gorilla Glue, just the regular stuff to get it to the plaster cloth that we put down here. We've been using this Woodland Scenics plaster cloth. It's been really easy, fairly clean. And then you can see right here, all of this leading up, this is pretty much a finished product up that way. We've experimented with the foam putty from Woodland Scenics. Now, as we get started, we've also been trying to put a little bit of pitch on the corners. You can see a little piece of wood on this side, but basically we want the pitch to go inward, so around the corners it's pitching in. And especially on this corner, when you don't have any pitch, it seemed almost like you were going off the side around this corner and then up. To help us with the pitch of the track around the corner swooping inward, you'll see me using some 16th by 16th pieces of wood, strips there. They're like 24 inches long, I believe. Yeah, 24 inches, 16th by 16th square. I use these we put these in first to guide our way before we start adding the foam putty. We got the first line in. You can see how that'll help us when we get to the foam putty and filling all that in. But we'll have a good guide with this stringer going around. This happens to be the outside, so we'll have two stringers. We'll have this one, tracks right about here. Once again, it'll slope it down a little bit. And then another one will be coming in right here that we'll get to in a minute. All right, so what did we do here? First of all, we have the stringer on the outside. I did also put some of these boards on the inside too, and the reason is when we get to using this guy with the foam putty in this case, when I get it in there, I can smooth it out with this. But notice that instead of just being level, I did put an inside to it, so it kind of leans in. So when the train's going around the corner at high speeds, you know how it goes, right? The train can lean into it. So we got the outside track here, and then the inside track here with the same idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue all that into place and start filling in. All right, we are all glued down. I'm happy with the angles and all that good stuff. I know I've been talking a lot about using the foam putty, and I'm still going to use that, but I think it's going to be a smarter idea to fill first, or fill up, you know, kind of span some of these gaps with some plaster cloth, and that'll save on the foam putty, and a little bit of money, I suppose, in the long run. So here we go. All right, we let this dry overnight. We're good to go. Now we're gonna throw in the foam putty. We've been having luck with foam putty, this Woodland Scenics foam putty. It's turned out nicely. That being said, we haven't used anything else for these top coats, kind of a finishing coat. We like to glob it on with, in this case, just some wood. I'll scoop it up and maybe you can kind of get an idea of the texture. It's kind of got a squeaky cheese feel to it, in my opinion. We'll get it on there. I kind of get it all clumped on, and then come back over it with... All right, here we go. Okay, so I worked mostly on the ramps at this point. We have a little bit of pitch going inward, so when the train goes around the corner, it leans into it. Fairly happy with it. I think if I were to do it again already, I might put a little bit more pitch on there, but we can do some sanding. We'll see what we can't do to finish it up. Otherwise, now I'm gonna, get all the outskirts and everything with a little bit more of the putty. All right, well, there you go. I finished this, got some sanding in. There were definitely a couple of ripples. I had to sand all the way down to the plaster again there. I'm happy that we got rid of some of the 4% incline overall, making our way up to that bridge. But like I said earlier, I would have liked to have gotten a little bit more lean into the corner. There is a little bit there. It's definitely better than before. But once again, getting rid of some of that 4% grade, that was one of the biggest missions. Thanks for watching. See ya.